The Duke and Duchess of Sussex now live in a £11.4 million mansion in Montecito with their son Archie, but their first marital home was more humble. Meghan first moved in with Harry shortly before their engagement announcement and settled into the two-bedroom, one-bathroom property on the Kensington Palace estate. In fact, the cottage was so cozy Harry often had to duck to avoid the low ceilings. Despite the size, Meghan was just happy to finally be living with her partner, instead of being separated by a vast ocean. What's more, her enthusiasm for interior design allowed her to dress it up and make it feel more like hers. In the book, Finding Freedom, co-authors Omid Scobie and Carolyn Durand wrote, there was work to be done on the domestic front. During her previous stays in London, Meghan left clothes and a few decorative touches, but now she had to find room for all her belongings. Her natural eye for design had gone a long way toward dressing up the house, but there wasn't really anything she could do to change the size. There were parts of the second floor where the drop ceilings were so low that Harry was forced to stoop his 6 feet 1 inch frame to avoid hitting his head. And Meghan's wardrobe nearly filled one of the bedrooms. But a little crowding was hardly a problem. After months of long distance, Meghan was thrilled to finally be sharing a zip code, W84PY, with her partner. They continued, Meghan always likes to make the places she lived in as comfortable and chic as possible, and she'd moved often due to the nature of her work. This domestic bliss reportedly helped her cope with the huge change in her life. Meghan's interior design style could be seen on her now-defunct blog The Tig, where she uploaded pictures of her home in Toronto. She generally went for a quite clean, cool look with lots of black and white. The California-based interior designer told Meghan's Mirror, which chronicles the Duchess style, Meghan Markle's Toronto home reflects her California laid-back style. In the living area, the white linen sectional sofa looks perfectly cozy and slouchy. White flowing window treatments and white linens on her beds create an airy, cool yet sophisticated vibe. According to the book Meghan, a Hollywood princess, Meghan keeps her home very tidy and ordered. This was in contrast to her ex-husband Trevor Engelson, who was a naturally messy and disorganized person. During their marriage, when Meghan lived in Toronto and Trevor in LA, the difference between the two homes was stark. Author Andrew Morton wrote, Meghan's home in Summerhill was a vision of order and crisply ironed perfection. When she flew back to their LA home, when Trevor had been in solo residence for a few weeks, the sight that greeted her increasingly rankled. Tom Quinn, author of Kensington Palace, an intimate memoir from Queen Mary to Meghan Markle, claims that the Duchess was not happy with living at Nottingham Cottage. He claimed she had been drawn in by the fantasy of the royal family and was disappointed when she found out she and Harry would be living in a little cottage. He told Pod Save the Queen host Anne Gripper, I think that actually, she wasn't too keen on that. It seemed like they were being shunted off to a little prefab in the grounds. However, Finding Freedom said Meghan felt at home at Notcott with Harry, adding, she's always been able to bloom whereas she was planted, but she hadn't moved to London to start a new job. She had moved to London to start a new life.